Uh-huh. All right. Hi, I'm Jason Tullous, and I'm with Tenac Championship Coaching, and this is our very first episode of a new podcast that we're starting, and it's called Behind Every Jersey. And so, before I get into what the podcast is about, I'd like to have a couple of our coaches introduce themselves.
I'm Chad Byer, one of the coaches with Tenac. I raced professionally for about 10 years and picked up running after I retired from professional cycling and been a coach for about 5 years and been enjoying it, working with Jason and John. And yeah, that's a little background on myself.
Along with the marathon running and all of the other stuff that you've stepped into since then, huh?
Yeah, and a 2-year-old.
Yeah, and the 2-year-old. My name is John Benson. Yeah, I've been a coach with Jason now for about 10 years, roughly. Been riding since the mid 80s, having a great time on my bike, mountain biking, got into some road racing and mountain bike racing along the way. And now I just spend a lot of time as a graphic designer and a coach and trying to get outside and ride as much as I can.
Oh, thanks, guys. And yeah, I'm Jason Tullis. I've started Tenac a little over 11 years ago, and now we've grown to, I think we have 5 coaches total. And before that, I've been actually been coaching for 22 years now. So it's been a while, and I just love helping guide people, guide athletes to new limits or new experiences or getting them to the goals that they've set out for themselves. It's obviously I like it. It's 22 years. I can't believe I'm even saying that. Actually, 25 years. I started with John's roommate
Yeah.
back in 2000. We bought a turbo trainer and tested people in the basement.
Threshold training, right? That was the name of
Threshold training, yeah,
it.
in
Yeah.
the year 2000.
I think I designed that
Wow.
logo.
Yeah. Um, Anyway, so we're looking to just bring our listeners, our athletes, some stories and training insights and some science that we look at, and then any community updates that we may have. And I don't know if this podcast will be a one and done or it'll be every 2 weeks or 3 weeks, but we'll go with this and kind of see where we go. And hope you enjoy it. The theme behind every podcast is we're going to present a jersey. I mean, I was just, we were talking before we hit the record button, and I was telling these guys that I have about 75 jerseys, maybe a little more, just sitting right behind me that I've just collected over the years. And some are athletes, some are races, some I bought at a store. But what our idea is just to kind of give a story because there is a story behind every jersey, whether we won it at a race or we bought it at a store or one of our athletes presented it to us, and just the maybe story about the race or maybe some of the friendships we gained along the way or some of the lessons that we learned. And I feel each in our own way, we're kind of a journeyman cyclist where we have these relatable and real world experiences where we were following our passion. you know I know somebody told me passion over podiums, but I don't know if that's true because I was following podiums more often than not. But that we were very passionate, and we weren't specific superstars, but we were superstars in our own mind. Maybe you guys agree with that?
But yeah,
I think for me, I'd almost say passion trumps the podiums. When in my pro cycling career, I felt like the getting on the pro team just enabled me to live that lifestyle. Like I just love going out and training, putting in long, hard rides. And it's like I needed to do well enough in races to secure the contract to live that lifestyle. And I wasn't necessarily driven by the result. I just wanted to be on my bike as much as I could.
yeah,
So kind of aligns with me, the passion over podiums. I still want to do well in the race, but I think I love the training more than the racing.
yeah, I'm with you for sure. And I haven't even had that many podiums. I mean, I've had a couple good ones, but I definitely love the process and everything that goes into it, the learning and the improving, the mastering the my body, and just the idea of making it the best it can be, whatever I do. So cycling has always been the main focus for me for some reason. So yeah, definitely passion has pushed me.
I agree. Well, if I was honest, I was probably just trying to do it to stay away from getting a real job for as long as I could.
Of course, we all did.
I was like, oh, if I could do this, and I was like, ah, that real job will always be there. Fortunately, I haven't got to that point yet because I mean, I really don't consider what I do a real job. So it's definitely still has a lot of
Well,
passion
it's a
behind it.
job. You just don't think it's work, right?
Yeah, yeah, some days
In
it
that
is, but
sense, quote
yeah.
unquote. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, if we the jersey that I have, I thought I still have the very first jersey that I ever bought. I don't know why. I'm not a hoarder, or at least I don't think I am, but and I don't know why I have it or how I still have it. But I thought that would be a great place to start, and I don't really have a way to present it. I have it here. I was asking Chad and John if I should wear it. Maybe we'll do that in the next episodes. Whoever presents a jersey, they have to wear it during the episode.
Oh boy.
But I'll scoot back a little bit so y'all can kind of see this thing. It's a little ragged. I bought this in 1988. I don't know the name. If anybody knows this, leave it in our messages. I think it's a Vaunt. It wasn't an expensive jersey. Yeah, it wasn't an expensive jersey. It was probably on the sale rack. I did pick it for the color. Yellow's my favorite color, and I thought I would don the yellow jersey, my own yellow jersey, in my first race, and that's why I bought it. It was for my first race. Just to go back just a little bit, my dad purchased four mountain bikes 1988. He already had one, and he was riding back and forth to work so that I could drive the junk car. I mean, it was a junk car, but it was at least a car. I could drive that to high school. And I would ride his mountain bike occasionally, but he got this wild idea that he would take the family on a bike tour, and it was with the Greater Arizona Bicycling Association. I think it's still around. It's called GABA. And they were doing a ride from Show Low to Greer, which is 40 miles, and then you would stay at these cabins and then you would ride back. So we went from off the couch to 40 miles. I think my mom and my little sister definitely got in the broom wagon. They had a broom wagon on the trip to pick up anybody that wasn't able to make it. And then I had a great time. It was all on pavement. We were all on mountain bikes, but it was all on pavement. And so he did this, and I kind of already had some interest. We're starting to see mountain bikes in the stores at the time, and so I was pretty stoked. I got a Diamondback Ascent. It's kind of a teal green color, friction shifters, all that stuff. 1988, and then we saw a race a few months after that ride, and that's when I bought the jersey. I bought it at Landis Cyclery, which was a local bike shop that's still in business. And then we went up to the race. The race was just behind Pinnacle Peak Steakhouse. So if you are familiar with North Scottsdale, you'll know where Pinnacle Peak Steakhouse is. And so it was just on the north side of that steakhouse. And that steakhouse, I think 2 years after this race, became the original site for the Cactus Cup, which they held it there, the Cactus Cup, for 2 years, and then they moved it over to another place called Westworlds. But this race, I don't know how many people were there. I don't remember too much about it. It was mostly some dirt roads and maybe some single track. I don't remember if there was single track or not. I remember I was the youngest person there. I was 16, and I I think they had a first timers class, and I don't remember how many people were there. I seem to remember I got ninth place. I don't know if I did or not, but I think I did. But yeah, it was kind of my first taste of mountain biking, and it's a iconic area. I loved riding there, especially when the Cactus Cup came and I got to participate in that. Unfortunately, it became a golf course, and so it's not too much riding there anymore. Yeah, that's this jersey. That's kind of the one I wanted to present today, is the yellow jersey, and that's
Is that
about what I
Pinnacle
remember
Peak
of it.
Steakhouse still there? I don't know if I've heard of that one.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess if you're on the BOS ride, you would run right into it pretty much. It's right as you're going up. I think it's Alma School maybe.
Hmm.
And as the road bends to the right and then it straightens up again back to the left to go north, it would be on that bend.
Okay.
They probably sold out because it was kind of like they had like a little cowboy town there,
Yeah, I
and
remember it now. What was Raising Arizona was shot there. A part of it was filmed there, I think, too. Yeah,
yeah, it's right near Tom's, yeah, in that Tom's Thumb area,
nice.
Right.
or it wasn't right near Tom's Thumb, but close to it. And I do remember Dan Baczynski. I don't know if y'all remember that name.
Yeah.
He was the guy that started the Cactus Cup. He was the race promoter, if I remember right. So I did go back and do some rides in that area. I think he had a little group ride going on, where we'd ride from there to the Verde River, all on dirt.
Mm.
I don't think you could do that anymore from there, but too many houses and things. But yeah, it was kind of the start. I after that, I didn't really continue racing so much. I think I took a couple years off, and I didn't race again until I was about 18, and did a couple junior races. And then the Mountain Bike Association of Arizona, BAA, got started, I believe, in 1991, and that's when I started college, and that's kind of when I really got into mountain biking.
So did that jersey see many miles, or was it just that one race?
It saw a lot of miles. That's the only jersey I had for a few years. So, and you can see I cut the sleeves off, and yeah, it's pretty ragged looking. If you were holding it, it's almost breaking when I'm holding it. The material's so thin. I can't imagine having something. It only had two pockets in the back, and trying to put a water bottle, it'd probably be hanging down, past my butt, I'm
Yeah.
sure.
Right. That's awesome.
Yeah, so that's my Jersey story. I guess from there, I wanted to, take our little talk here into the coach's corner, and just, I know we have right now in Arizona, we're kind of seeing like it's not a boom of gravel racing, but it's a growing interest. I mean, what are you seeing, John?
Oh man, it's finally like a real sport here. I was always enamored with riding on the dirt roads and riding drop bar bikes and stuff like that on the dirt. And when these newfangled gravel bikes came to market, I was pretty excited. It really opened up a lot more fun riding to me in those areas. Of course, living in Flagstaff, we have I don't know how many hundreds of miles of gravel to ride here, so it's pretty much endless, and a lot more than we have paved roads. Being a cyclist, and we have tons of single track too, but riding the dirt roads is just exceptional around here. I see it growing now. Instead of two or three gravel bikes out and about, I see multiple $5,000, $10,000 gravel bikes on rides just constantly throughout the weekend. When I travel to races and rides, it's amazing to see it really been embraced by a lot of people, and it's a really fun way to see an area because it provides the best views. I mean, mountain biking is amazing. You get to see some cool stuff, the trees, and you're out there in nature and things like that. But the views, I think, are way better on a gravel ride when you're out there and you pass into an open prairie and you're at the base of a big mountain and you get to see the big sky and the landscape really for a distance. It's pretty exceptional. I think a lot of people are really enjoying it. So yeah, it's definitely a household name now.
Yeah, and is that, I mean, Arizona has a new like gravel series where they've put four races together, and they're going to crown, some champions in each distance. And each distance is, I think it's called short, medium, and long.
Yeah.
And then the age groups. And do you see, that helping, kind of bring the community together, or creating a different community, or
Yeah, it gave some purpose versus just kind of somebody trying to pick an event on the calendar. I went to the first race in the series was out there by Sholo, and I went to that and just heard a lot of people say that they were there. They hadn't planned on going there, but they decided to do it last minute because now it's part of the series, and they were going to do like Chino Grinder, which was held last weekend. So since it was tied together and they might have a chance to do another race, they were working on their schedules to see if they could go to Village Gravel this next weekend or go to Borderlands down in Douglas in mid-November. So that's the final. And yeah, it definitely brought out more riders to those events, and people are really excited to be a part of it. There's, yeah, like you said, champion titles up for grabs. There's going to be a podium, actually, first, second, and third for each category. So if you're doing the short distance at all 4 races, or you could throw one out if you need to, or if you have to, then you could still win with just 3.
Nice. And yeah, we partnered up with the Borderlands Gravel, like Mike Miller, who runs that race, reached out to me, I want to say in March this year, early on the end of the year, and we built some kind of static training plans and nutritional strategy and just general information around those events for him. And I think we have around 15 athletes. It's become kind of a Tenac athlete gathering for this year. And I know we'll have 3 coaches down there, and so I'm excited to get down there and see our athletes race, which is something I living in Colorado, I don't get to always see all the time now, and but also just kind of be part of that culture a little bit, or kind of joining in. I've done a few gravel races, but
And you're
I'm
riding it,
excited just to
Jason?
see. No, I think that's going to be the biggest challenge for me right now, is just preparing for Borderlands. I think I, if y'all don't know, I also coach a collegiate mountain bike team at Western Colorado University, and we just finished up our season a week and a half ago. So it's been full gas for me with the team since August, and you would think that I would get a lot of riding in being at a mountain bike team, but it does not equate to that. Especially, when I work with the Gravity folks, we'll go out for 2 hours, and I look at my mileage, and it's like 6 or 7 miles. It's crazy. And then I did get an injury. I crashed pretty hard on one of our training days, and I bruised my femur, and I ended up getting on an e-bike for a bunch of the season, just so I could go out and keep up with the athletes. So no, that's a long answer to your question, Chad. So no, I have not been riding that much, but I did get on last week. I actually even got on some rollers. And it's starting, the mornings here are 28 degrees. It's freezing in the mornings. So if I only have time to ride in the morning, I'm usually in the garage on the rollers or something. So 60 miles is going to be a challenge for me, for sure. John, you going to be ready? Am I going to be able to keep up with you, or you going to be towing me, or you going to drop me,
I have
or?
a feeling I might enjoy it a little more than you, just a little.
John's been staying pretty fit.
I still got a little bit left in the tank, yeah, after this crazy year of physical ailments. But no, I think I'm going just to enjoy it. I'm not vying for any special time. So I'll be happy to ride with you, and one of our friends, athletes, Andy Burns, might join us, and we'll see. Maybe he'll be along for a social ride.
Yeah, a good social event will be good for me. And I am, I'll be sending out an email next week to our athletes, going that we'll do a pasta dinner for everybody the night before, and be good to socialize a little bit, and actually get to meet a couple athletes that I've never met before. Not my athletes personally, but a couple of the other athletes that we have going. So
Yeah.
as we're talking about, this Borderlands, do y'all have any like practical tips that, if anybody is headed out there, that you might suggest to them for this race or riding in that area? I know John and I have both done Spirit World, which is maybe 100 miles west of where we're going to be at Douglas, Arizona, but I'm assuming that the gravel is going to be very similar.
Well, the first thing that comes to mind for me to suggest, along with the basics, is come with cold weather gear, because it could be really cold at the start, and that's a drag to be shivering uncontrollably, and you can't hang on to your bike. You start to forget things because you get worried about it. But dress appropriately, and then even though the temperatures are lower, you still have to manage and work out your strategy for fueling, and making sure you have the tools that you need to keep riding with energy, and also on your bike, make sure your bike's in good condition. But as far as that goes, it's a day out in the desert could be ready for anything.
I haven't ridden much in that area. Is it pretty rough? Do you need to run some fat tires, or is it pretty smooth gravel?
I haven't ridden there at all.
I think the gravel is relatively smooth for Arizona, but I think there's going to be a lot of braking bumps and those things. I know that
Yeah.
the main road it is utilized quite a bit by cars
Or
and border patrol and all those roads that will be on. This event is unique that I guess some of the field is going to get to do a parade lap and actually ride into Mexico on the parade lap. That should be pretty exciting to see and be a part of. I do think looking at the course, I think aerodynamics is going to play a big piece. It is kind of a long, gradual climb and then a long, gradual descent as you're coming back. And I think with the winds out there and just being able to comfortably hide yourself from the wind if you have other riders around you would pay off
stay in a group.
big time for yes.
I feel like with the wind too, being thinking about aerodynamics, if you take away the notion that you have to propel yourself forward for aerodynamics to be effective, in my mind, it's just as effective when you have wind coming at you. So when you're trying to slice through the wind, if you're an aerodynamic, you're going to get through it easier if you're not wearing baggy clothing and you have a good position on the bike that air can flow around you and you're not creating too much drag. So I agree. Aerodynamics generally in gravel is a really good thing to think about.
Especially the long events. If you're out there for over 5-6 hours, 0.5% makes a pretty substantial
It
difference.
adds up. Yeah.
I know, Chad, you've looked over that the past few years that you're riding. You've noticed faster times, and you think it's more aerodynamics than power.
I think it's all the equipment. There's huge advancements on the equipment, and I've been able to match my old Strava PRs on segments from 10 years ago recently off of a third of the training. And I think a lot of it has to do with equipment. I mean, I've gone all in just to see, what I can do on some of those segments. And I think aero socks, aero wheels, aero bike, it all adds up. The skin suits.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Just equipment. I mean, just the aero socks and a skin suit could save 30 watts, which is huge.
Didn't you buy like some jersey or undershirt, like specifically aero?
I don't have the undershirt, but I got the jerseys and stuff. Yeah, arm warmers, aero arm warmers, and everything.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
The talk for sure.
I'm definitely looking forward to going down there. It's like I said, it's getting chilly here. And saying that, John, that reminds me, the last time I did Spirit World, we were all freezing on the line. And I went back to our Airbnb and I put on pants and a flannel shirt and I raced in that.
I remember that. Yeah. Yeah, the other big key point is probably tire size. And one of the coolest things about the gravel bikes that is now kind of a given on anything that's been made in the last year is you can fit big tires in these bikes. And to me, I don't think there's any reason to run anything smaller than 50 millimeters pretty much anywhere, because you can get semi-slick treads that are 50 wide and will offer you a lot more comfort and just as much speed with very little rolling resistance. The bigger the tire, the easier you'll get through the washboard and the class 3-4 short sections safer and feel better, more comfort.
I should feel real good because I got some 2.6 tires I'm bringing down.
You run 0.6?
Well, so I recently sold my gravel bike and will be bringing my mountain bike, and I'm running some 2.6 tires on that. So I should be really comfortable.
Big for mountain bikes.
2.6. Who is this?
Who? Yeah. Maxxis makes 2.6. And I've ridden 2.6 tires for years. So I love them.
2.6. Huh.
So, well, that's exciting. I'll definitely be able to keep up with you now. Well, yeah, I don't have that, so we'll see. Maybe I'll wear the aero socks. It'll all equal out.
Definitely.
As long as you shave your legs too, you don't want to negate the aero socks. You gotta balance that out.
Yeah. Well, if I have my mountain bike pants on, because I I tell you, I really love riding in pants, and it's hard to find me not riding in pants. I won't have to worry about leg hair that way.
Something tells me you haven't been worrying about it for a while.
Yeah.
I'm still a slave to the razor. Good time.
Well, athlete side of things, have y'all had any athlete achievements, or y'all have any athlete races coming up, or
I had a couple athletes that were going to Big Sugar and had to cancel last minute. Had some illness uh, come up, and just with the prospect of rain and the travel distance and things like that, it wasn't good. So yeah, the course changed quite a bit at the last minute. So that was probably a good call for them. I'm another athlete who is just finishing his first year as a cyclist, so was in another sport entirely until last year, and now he's like taken to it. So he's joined a local team there in Scottsdale with Chad, and he's ready to get out there and start moving up in the ranks. He did a couple of crits and felt good, and had a little bit of a lull with some health stuff through the summer. It seems like, that first year it's real easy to take on a lot, and you feel so good and stoked that you can really bury yourself without noticing. And then all of a sudden it's like, you hit a wall and the car just stops completely, or the bike stops.
yeah,
You have to just reassess. You're like, holy moly, now what's going on? You can't stop. You can't get over any sickness. Every little thing, allergies turn into a sinus infection, or you have a stomach issue or something. You just can't seem to shake it. So he spent a little bit of time doing that. So it was kind of a learning experience, something I think we've all gotten into, where it's like you're so focused on the goal, and you see the training plan and going through it, and you talk to the coach, and everything is just hunky dory and great, and the power numbers are awesome, and you're nailing it and doing all this great stuff until one day it all goes away. And then you're like, okay, now what's wrong with me? And then try to avoid the self doubt and everything, and just say, okay, my body needs a minute and take a break. So fortunately, he was an experienced enough athlete that he got through that, and now we're rebuilding with, starting with the foundation Fat Max and getting ready to start talking about races in January.
yeah. We were talking a little bit beforehand about, this is kind of, I think for a lot of athletes, this is almost the beginning of base season. Like they've either just taken a break or they're about to take a break and enter base season. But
Mm-hmm.
I mean, do you see that, Chad, with your athletes? Are they
Yeah, yeah.
starting?
Most of my athletes, the seasons are quieting down, and some have already had that kind of break. And Caitlin Kellogg actually had a vacation, came back just a couple weeks after, and surprised herself with a good solid ride at Chino. She ended up second overall in the 60 mile, and my other athlete Matt Carl
Nice.
was able to get first at the Cap 4 state time trial. So they're coming off some good results. And then, yeah, now it's kind of the last event for a lot of my athletes will be Altour Tucson. And then it's kind of shifting gears, going into that kind of transition or preparation phase. Maybe doing some cross training, maybe some strength. I like to push my athletes into doing a little cross training. I think running can be super beneficial. I think doing some sort of activity is good. I think it's tough for an endurance athlete to go from riding 5-6 days a week to nothing. And I think that can be challenging mentally too. So I think doing something, hiking, walking, some strength training. But I've been pushing the running and strength training more from athletes the last couple of years, seeing how beneficial that stuff can be in the off season.
Yeah, at base. I mean, I'm kind of in the same position, especially after Leadville. A lot of athletes,
Mm-hmm.
either they were doing Leadville or they were doing Breck Epic, or some of these big end of summer type goals, and it quieted down quite a bit. But now, I'm starting to, athletes are starting to get excited. It was always one of my favorite times of the year, and even as a coach, it's one of my favorite times of the year because the possibilities almost seem endless. And it's you're doing a lot of low intensity riding, and I think it's almost romantic what you dream about, or at least me. I dream about these long rides, and John and I used to do this ride out to Clint's Well,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like 55 miles out one way to this gas station, and we would get a Coke and a pecan pie or something there, and then you know, pet the dog named Lucky, and then we'd head back, and hopefully we didn't go too hard on the way out so that, we had some energy on the way back. But, just rides like that where you get to go out all day, and especially the weather right now is pretty favorable, and
Yeah,
it's a little cooler and it's crisper, and I love the fall, and it's a great time to
definitely.
kind of start building on that.
Yeah, I'm in planning with some friends, some rides, starting to create this kind of annual calendar with the guys at Bicycle House to go and do a ride from the bike shop to the Love's truck stop at Quarters Junction.
Wow.
100 and something miles. We've done that a couple times now. So we're starting to plan when we're going to do that again in January. And then there's that Peaks and Creeks ride that somebody put together on Strava. It starts at Usury Pass and goes over 4 peaks and around by the lake, and then back through Tortilla Flats and back to Usury on gravel bikes. So we'll do that in February, and then still trying to find time to put that white rim in a day on the calendar. But I think that's going to have to wait till fall. So we're using this as, to fuel the fire, to stay on the rides and plan things and keep our brain active, and like getting all your stuff together, getting your mind and body ready to go somewhere and do a big effort. Because I think we're wanting to do Leadville next year again as a group. So there's a impetus to like start really getting some core work done on these rides where you don't have to do it on a time limit, and you can kind of enjoy it, and you get the benefit out of it.
I think that's important. I mean, I realized that a couple of years ago when an athlete invited me to to pace him basically at Leadville, and it was awesome to have that goal, because the process of doing the training and giving me something to think about and giving me these daily goals, and I forgot, because I hadn't done anything like that in a while, and I forgot how much I enjoyed that, and just that the training piece, and to just kind of mindlessly get on the rollers here is not that great. But to have Borderlands there, and I've kind of started thinking about, I need a goal myself, and
Mm-hmm.
don't hold me to it, but I recently I've been thinking about this event called the Fat Pursuit. It's in January, and I need to make a decision pretty fast, because it's a 200K ride
Fat bike.
in fat bike, snow. You have to take all your gear.
Yeah.
It's like the slowest average speed race ever. How
Uh,
long does that take?
Well, it's very weather dependent. I think I was looking at some of the results last year, were like, there's some sub 20 hour results. The year
Get off the
before
road as
that, I think
fast.
it was like 40 hours or something. There must have been some snowstorm or something, come in.
I've done fat
Crazy.
bike rides without all the camping gear that took me 4 hours to go 4 miles.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't decided yet, but last year it was kind of the first really harsh winter that I've had here in Gunnison, and I just found it beautiful. I loved getting out, just out of town on dirt road. Well, there were not dirt roads, but just out on the snow, and just it was just quiet. It's beautiful, and I did
Amazing.
a couple fat bike rides. It was pretty fun. I did a lot of Nordic skiing.
Yeah.
So anyway, that came up, and I was like, yeah, that would be kind of fun. I mean, I say that now, I probably not really that much fun.
Type
I
2.
think it's good to have something on the schedule that you have to work towards something. If it's an event or a big ride, and I think having the goals, I always like to have a goal or a event on the schedule. It just helps me kind of organize my life a little bit better. I think coming from pro cycling, I need something like that on the schedule. I'm working towards
Well, there's
something
different.
that makes me get up and get the work done,
Yeah.
even if I don't want to do it.
There's
But
different types of events too, right? There's some that are just like, okay, I know I need to do this to accomplish it, and then there's the ones that kind of scare you a little bit, like you're not
mhm,
sure, like you want to do something so above and beyond what you're comfortable with that you're kind of scared and a little tense about it. And that I think is important to have. I don't know about every year, but to do at least once and work towards and engage in that process and the mental side of it, coach yourself through it with a coach or by yourself, just to get out there and accomplish.
Yeah, if either one of y'all want to join me at the Fat Pursuit, it could help
I don't
me
have a
if I
fat
had
bike. I'm
somebody.
out.
I
Chad,
don't either.
10 minutes sub-zero conditions. You're too much of a lizard.
Yeah, I like the heat. I'd have to be well dressed for that event.
I did get these cycling shoes last year, or they're probably more than a shoe, maybe a boot. They're good for down to -25. So I never had cold feet
Nice.
last year.
That's good. Do you have
Yeah.
a fat bike?
No, I don't. I would probably have to sell my e-bike and buy a fat bike.
Oh boy.
But I can't ride the e-bike for the next 9 months anyway, because it's just not, there's not going to be any riding here. It's supposed to start snowing here next week.
Yeah, I would
So
say probably a fat bike's probably a good investment for you there.
they do groom fat bike trails actually here, 20 miles of them.
That'd be awesome.
So it's kind of fun. So you just don't get off the trail. You get off the trail, you sink down, you crash.
Like falling in the water.
Well, talking about that scary goals and base season and all that. I just had a couple athletes sign up with me to get ready for Cape Epic, and that's a scary goal. So these guys, yeah, that I had the opportunity once to do it. At the time just wasn't good for me to take 2 weeks away from a baby and a young kid and wife. So I didn't go. It is something that maybe in the future I'd be interested in, but it's I've had many athletes do it in the past. It can be up to 40 hours of riding for the week, just depending on who you are
Yeah.
and the temperatures and
And it's a
all the
flight or
all the details of it. What was that?
something like 30 hours of flying to get there.
Yeah, that's true. So,
Man.
but those guys are definitely, I've got them deep into base season and then looking towards, it's also a good season, not only with the low intensity, but any weaknesses you may have. It's a good time to kind of focus on those things, whether it's, trying to get 30 minutes more sleep or get your nutrition taken care of or your skill set on the bike, whatever it is that you can improve. I feel like it's easier to do this time of the year than when you're having to focus on some intense intervals or races are up or whatever. So
Too. Other the rest of the time. And you don't have time to even, you're basically just throwing on a pair of shorts and getting your shoes buckled up, and you got time to get that workout done and get back to what you were, whoever's waiting on you or other stuff you got to get done. Yeah.
yeah, that's about all I had. What do you guys? Do you have anything else to share?
No, that's it for me. The first one was pretty good. This has been fun.
Yeah, I mean, I could talk to you guys for a long time. It's lonely up here in the mountains.
I bet.
Well, the weather's just getting nice here in Phoenix, so you might have to make a trip down here sometime.
Well, I'm sure I'll be down in that area for the holidays
Yeah.
and maybe more. You never know. Maybe I'll come down to do John's. What's that ride called? Peaks and Streams?
Peaks and creeks.
Peaks and Creeks. I would have to
That'd be a
train
pretty
for
cool ride.
that.
It's like 112 miles or 115 miles or something. Just
Wow.
getting over four peaks is the monster. I mean, if you can do that, then you can eat and recover and do the rest of the ride, no problem. But that is a steep climb.
Yeah, the last 7 miles was
Yeah.
well, which way do you go? You go clockwise?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be good. We'll let you know. Chad, you should come too.
Might have to. I'm still running. I got that marathon into December, and then after that, I'll be on the bike more.
Yeah.
Where's your marathon at?
It's at Wild Horse Pass, just south of Phoenix. It's called the Marathon Project, so they have it set up for runners to run a fast time, and they take just the top 100 fastest entrants for it. So I got in, and we'll see what I can do on race day. I'm trying to push myself to get fast again. It's hard.
Wow.
Nice. Well, we'll have to keep updated on that for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. You have milestones set up?
Yeah, I've got some kind of key workouts on the schedule, and then yeah, come race day, we'll see if I can improve on my PR, I'd be really happy. I'm training a little less than I was for my last marathon just due to time constraints. So we'll see. If I can run a sub 216, I'd be really happy.
Nice. Really cool.
Yeah. Well, just to recap, I just want everybody out there, probably the 3 or 4 people listening, just look back to maybe your first jersey and what did that represent, and did it get you into cycling? Did it send you on a journey to complete Leadville or some big scary goal like John was talking about, or how did it affect you? I mean, that's I think we all have our own stories, and we'd love, if you want to comment on your story, we'd love to read it.
Yeah.
And if you could
No doubt.
share it, we're going to post this up on, I guess, the normal podcast places, but you'll definitely be able to find it on our Substack. I'll definitely put it up there. Again, we're excited for Borderlands and the gravel scene that's going on in Arizona, and for all the base training that everybody's either just started or they're about to start. Again, I don't know when our next one will be. I would say 2 to 3 weeks. I don't necessarily have a jersey planned out. I'll have to talk to these guys and see what they got. Like I said, I got 75 jerseys on here. I got one. Maybe I'll pull this one out. I got one that says erotic Smurf on the back of it. I've got lots of jerseys and stories, and so we'll
We
we'll
might have
keep
to
you
do that one
updated.
next. That's like
Yeah,
the cliffhanger. You
that
can't
story.
leave Jersey out in the podcast.
And it wasn't even on top. I just happened to see this blue jersey because it may be the only blue jerseys like that I have. So,
That's fantastic.
but stay tuned, and
Send
again,
your
share
questions.
your stories and send us questions, and yeah, we'd be happy to answer questions on the next one too as well.
Sounds good. Have a good night, guys.
All right.
Everyone.